So yeah, rapier crossbow, very strong, especially with fervency, since there's very little. You're like super good under pressure. If you get like a bunch of leads, it's whatever. You can just kill them mostly with fervency, or just fish for headshots while being very safe. I think I'm gonna fast forward to the start since it's just pushing until the horde shows up. Oh, I also have super good breakpoints for crossbow. You can body shot packmasters and ratlings, which is pretty huge. Alright, and about now I should get the horde. So yeah, just pushing pace as much as I can, and then until I get the first horde. Especially on this. If I get a bunch of leads and a horde, it's fine. You can just kill them. So this is a pretty good spot for this kind of build, because assassins, like, they just can't get here for some reason. Yeah, I run Skaven monster, Skaven attack speed, and that gives you all the breakpoints. And then you can still run assassin, because assassin is pretty huge, especially on kill power against elites when you don't have your ult up. And Chaos Warriors. I'm trying to bait them to jump here so I can kill them safely, but they're not coming. Like, this guy comes and then he just fucks off. I'm trying to do the same with this one, but I'm being a bit... Like, he just doesn't come closer. Usually when you go around the corner, then assassins just like slowly scoot forwards and you can just hit them, but they're not doing that for some reason. So I just did that. I can't push hard here because I already had the trigger, so it's whatever. Like, I'm not scared to run into mass ambience on this build, so I can just push. Just checking all the item locations, mostly for ammo, because the rest is pretty optimal. And I'm just pulling ambience from the plaza because I know I can get a boss on the next trigger. So I would like to not have mass ambience while that happens. Here I should just have ulted already and drank my conch since I have a spare. Said I wait too long with using the ult. With other careers I probably wouldn't have dropped out there, I would have probably waited. But since this is so strong, it's fine. Here I got 2 assassins and I have to move out of this area because this area is very bad for assassins. They have too many angles to get to you. Just pushing my way out. And get stuck on one fucking red behind me. Very cool. And have to use an ult. I would have rather held on to that for a little bit. I hit him with 2 body shots with light attacks, and that kills him with flans. So I know if I hit him 2 times, I can not worry about him anymore. So I would have liked to have my ult right about now, but I'm not too far off, so I can just farm a little bit, just hitting shit. Yeah, with the inherent block cost reduction on Rapier, you can hold in corners pretty well. And here I did a bunch of unnecessary damage because I was too focused on getting the gas rats, which shouldn't. I should just kill trash and then go for gas rats. Yeah, this market area is. It's up top is fine and it's very nice guide loop, but you kind of put yourself in a bad position if you push too hard because you have too much stuff up and then your kill speed goes out of the window because you can't DPS properly since you have too much aggro on you. Probably could still pull it off with this build, but yeah, on other careers it's meh. I should heal but over here as well. I was kind of like greeting for a med pack, but that's like probably too risky. There is, but I like that spot over there isn't too bad. Most careers can escape. Well, it depends on the kind of ambience you get. If you get like a bunch of Chaos Warriors, it's pretty shit. But you can kind of hold in that corner and you have a decent escape. Usually with a push up to the ladder, you can get space. And then either go from there. Just ulting to get rid of all the SV. So this is my last trader and it can either be boss or patrol. So I'm gonna fight this horde. And then just when it's about to end, I'll push into the trigger. It's pretty build dependent whether you can hold though. Like if most builds can hold, I think. There are some builds that can. But I think most should have an escape route. Unless you're like bounty hunter or something. But then if I wanted the bounty hunter to solo, I probably wouldn't do Bell. Alright, that's unlucky. So yeah, I finished my horde, pushing the trigger. And got a boss. And I'm pretty confident in the ability for this build to burst the boss. So yeah, I waited to drink my conch until after I have to use my first fervency, so I don't use any like fervency uptime while drinking a conch. Especially here is where assassin comes into play, because you would be losing out on like 30% damage if you had enhanced power. Like I kill him so quick. Like yeah, that's a 50-second boss kill. I was kind of lucky I didn't get disturbed by specials, but then again I killed a bunch of specials just before I fought the boss. So the timers just worked out there for me. I'm just proactively killing these specials, don't really mind if I waste ammo by not aiming for headshots. It's unfortunate that I missed that headshot. Yeah, the last Dragon Pit is rough. Like, you feel you've already beaten the map, and then you get a boss on the last trigger. It's a big yikes. I did Drake Fire Pistols. One-handed hammer, I think. Ironbreaker to solo. And then I got to the last trigger and I got a kill spawn. And it was horrible. I had to fight like four hordes with constant specials. And eventually I just went down to... What did I go down to? Well, I think it was like a triple mauler running attack. It's pretty rough. But yeah, here I'm just fighting and kiting, and I hear the Backmaster and I'm just gonna crossbow him down. That's the safest way to go about it. And then saving my ult and then getting rid of him. Here I hear another Packmaster spawn, so I'm just moving away from him till I get a line of sight. And I just crossbow him down, and the other one as well. Yeah, spawn tweaks can do weird things to your game. I play with it off, and I feel like the amount of specials I get is pretty consistent. The amount of leads I get are not very consistent, but the amount of specials are. So then just moving along walls, so special flash angles. I'm just waiting for them to show up. I like left slightly better, since the specials that come from the stairs take longer to show up, and you can see them better from this side. And also, if you hold like under the stairs on the left side, specials have even less angles. And if they show up, you will hear them coming from like a long ways away. So that over here is a pretty good spot. I think this is wave number 2, so I'm just starting to move forward slowly. Since I feel comfortable to do it since it's built, this is pretty good. Yeah, you do have to know that it takes a while for them to show up. To be honest, on character solos you get so many specials that I wouldn't like. In most situations, I would not like drop DPS to wait specials out, even if it's risky, because you'll just not do enough damage, and you will allow threats to build upon each other. So you just want to get rid of them ASAP. And there, yeah, dual push into a crossbow is pretty efficient against those. You can do it with most weapons. You can do like double push into handgun, double push into longbow. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if I'm like clutching or things, then I'll play it safer. But I feel like if you're true soloing, you can't really play it safe. Or like too safe. Because the thing with if you're clutching is, then the objective isn't to get to the end of the map. The objective is to get the res. So, like, you don't need to kill things for you to be able to get the res. Like in a lot of times when you're clutching, the goal isn't to kill things. The goal is just to stay alive until you can get the res. Which is different to a true solo, where you actually have to get through the map. And you're not really waiting for something. Like a respawn. Which is also why I don't think true solos are necessarily... Like, people say that true solo is like a full map clutch, but it's not really like that. It's a bit different. Here I hear an assassin and I'm backing up because I don't have good vision when he comes from there, like with the gas and everything. I'm backing up until I see him. A little bit, yeah. I'm just... Yeah, true solo is a lot of map knowledge and knowing... Well, not necessarily map knowledge, but more like general positioning knowledge. Like knowing where to stand and how to stand. That assassin just fucked up. I got so distracted by that fucking assassin jump that I almost ran in the wrong direction. So, strategy for this event is to just wait over here until like everything spawns in at once. So you wait till they all come to you, and then you just then you drop and start doing chains. So if you want, because if you just do the chains and then you beeline to the next one, they will come from all sides, and you'll get surrounded and you might get stuck. So you just have to wait a bit. I mean, what I try to do is do risky plays until they are no longer risky, if that makes sense. Like, for example, the unrisky play would be to not attack there and just hold block, right? But then I wouldn't do DPS. And even if I'm playing like something like drones, the non-risky play would be a lot of times to attack less than I do. But I just attack as much as I can until I get punished for it. And then I just keep doing it until I can get away simply by getting better. So yeah, I group everything up and then I just use items and... and kill all, basically. It's pretty comfortable on them. Yeah. Also, I use the bomb like at the end there because they're all grouped up, so it's a pretty good bomb target. Yeah, I've seen that a lot, and that's also like advice that's given a lot. Like the most important stat is damage taken, but I disagree. It's not a good way to improve, in my opinion. As I eat fucking ogre, that's like a moron. This is not a very clean ogre fight. There, I eat another hit. But yeah, I think most important is that you maximize your damage uptime, because the way that threat builds in this game is that singular enemies or like singular enemy types, so mass elites or just mass trash or mass specials by themselves are like they're alright, but they're not very scary. They only become real scary when they're mixed. So if everybody maximizes DPS, then chances that they build are much smaller. And I also think that you improve much more as a player if you constantly try to push the limit in how much you can get away with, as opposed to trying to limit how much the enemies do to you. Try to maximize how much you can do to them. Obviously not to the point where you're like suicidal and always on the floor, but like if you have the HP for it, always take a risk. Like, yeah, I will take a lot of damage on purpose if it means getting a special snipe or getting my ult. Like, well, not on purpose, but more like I take the calculated risk that I'm fine with taking the damage there if I get this special or if I get this elite kill. I'm fine with taking the damage. Because, for example, if you get a horde with like 6 storm vermin in it, if you can get rid of the 6 storm vermin, then it doesn't matter if you only have 1 HP if you're left with a naked horde, because the naked horde is whatever. So as long as you get rid of those SV without dying, then it's fine if you just take a couple hits. But for example, if I have like 4 HP, then I won't take that risk because, you know, there's a chance that I will die. But if I have a little more HP and I can take a hit or two, I will just gladly take that risk. This is especially apparent in things like Dwons, where if you're trying to snipe a special. Also, fervency, rip your shits on Chaos Warriors if you hit headshots. But like in Dwons, for example, it's very, very worth it to just... A lot of times I'll just whip out a crossbow in the middle of a horde to get a special. That's fine, even if I get hit. Yeah, for example. If a teammate is in a bad spot, and I have enough HP, I might just take damage to help him get out of there. And of course you risk damage taken, for example reviving someone in gas or something. It's fine taking that HP hit if you make sure he lives. So yeah, that's that run. I stopped giving commentary somewhere, but there wasn't that much going on. It's just a very strong build and it shits on the difficulty a bit too hard.